Wildcard weekend wraps up on Monday Night Football with Houston and Pittsburgh kicking off at 8:15 on ESPN and ABC. And to be honest, this line was set way closer than I expected. As of right now, Houston is only a 3-point favorite, and the over-under is set at 39.5 points. And while it's likely to be chilly right around 30 degrees, they are expecting clear skies in Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. Now, the weather report could change by then. This is being recorded on Friday, so keep an eye on that. But if the weather turns out to be as nice as it says it does, this could end up being a great game that is not impacted by the weather. The Texans feel like the clear favorite here, but it doesn't feel like Vegas thinks that way. Houston was 12-5. They come in as the 5 seed with a point differential of plus 109. One of the best defenses in all of football this year. The Pittsburgh Steelers sneak in week 18 on a missed field goal. They finish the season 10-7. As the 4 seed with a plus 10 differential. Both teams are fairly healthy. The Houston Texans right now have a couple of guys not practicing as of this recording. Kamari Lassiter did not practice due to ankle and knee injuries. Titus Howard did not practice due to an ankle injury. However, Houston beat reporters are saying that they expect both of these guys to get practice in by the end of the week and to play on Monday. Really, the only guy not practicing for Pittsburgh right now is Jaylen Warren. He is still expected to play. He's just dealing with an illness, so he's not out there on the field. For TJ Watt, he is back. Full practice. Lung seems to be healed up. We should see him on Monday night. Let's jump into the matchup edge here, and at the quarterback position, you got to go with the veteran that has a Super Bowl, that has been around the league almost longer than CJ Stroud has been alive, it feels like. Aaron Rodgers and Pittsburgh get the nod at the quarterback position. CJ Stroud has some playoff experience, but Aaron Rodgers has way more. At the running back position, I gotta give it to Pittsburgh as well. The fact that Kenneth Gainwell and Jaylen Warren have both been viable candidates all season long at the running back position shows how much Arthur Smith is utilizing both of them, not just on the ground, but in the passing game. I love Nick Chubb. Woody Marks was solid at times this year. Jawar Jordan showed up for a game, but you have to give it to the two guys that are being utilized the best by their team. And you got to think when facing a defense as tough as Houston that you're going to need to utilize both of these guys in the passing game, and they will get targets this weekend. At the wide receiver position, really it came down to Nico Collins or DK Metcalf. And so far this season, Nico Collins has been a way better performer when he has been on the field and been healthy. Then when you take a look at the guys that are kind of the number 2, number 3 on this team, there just seems to be more depth at the wide receiver position for the Houston Texans than what Pittsburgh has, and that's why I'm giving them the edge at that position. The tight end position is a push. Dalton Schultz, the better tight end in terms of statistics, but Pittsburgh has more depth at the tight end position. Pat Freiermuth. Unfortunately, Darnell Washington is going to end up missing this game. And then you've got guys that can help out all over the field with Jonnu Smith as well, who has done some end arounds this season. He's gotten some carries. They try to get creative at times with the tight end position, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a push. Offensive line, going to give it to Pittsburgh. I think that they can do a better job at protecting their quarterback in this matchup than what Houston's offensive line would do for Stroud, especially when you face a guy like TJ Watt. For defense, it's absolutely Houston. Houston has had one of the best, if not the best defense for a majority of the year. They're just not good. They are suffocating. If their defense is on, it is really hard to move the ball. And for special teams, which could end up playing a huge role in this matchup, give me the Houston Texans as well, which means the overall edge in this matchup is going to go towards Houston, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a minute. Over on Underdog for the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football, I'm liking Xavier Hutchinson and going higher than the 9.5 receiving yard line that you can set on Underdog. And over his last 10 games, he has hit that 6 times. Now, it does feel like he tends to go every other game. He'll get it one game and then he won't. He'll get it another game and then he won't. In fact, at one point, he went 30-0, 42-0, 39-0, 16. So this is one of those bets that absolutely, if it hits, it's going to hit and you're good. But he might not even get any looks, which makes it maybe a little bit risky, but the matchup seems decent enough for him as well. I already mentioned it a couple of minutes ago during Matchup Edge, but I think Jaylen Warren is going to have to be utilized in this game. And right now, you can go higher than 1.5 receptions with a 0.76 multiplier on underdog. And part of beating Houston is going to be just taking yards when you can get them. You're not going to be able to gash Houston for 10, 15, 20 yards at a time. But if you can get them for 4, 5 yards on back-to-back plays, on every play, and just keep moving the ball and wear that defense down, you have a shot to beat them. And that is what Jaylen Warren is going to help do. Over his last 10 games, he has hit this mark 80% of the time. Over his last 20 games, he has hit it 85% of the time. Jaylen Warren, he's not getting a ton of work in the passing game, but he is still being utilized. And again, in this matchup, I think they have to look his way. All right, my prediction for this game, honestly, I'm leaning towards Houston pretty easily. I'm going under 39.5 points because I think this is going to be more of a defensive battle than anything. But when you get to January and you get to the NFL playoffs, defense wins championships. Unless you have some sort of just a full-fledged dynamic offense that can go out there and compete with everybody every single game, defense is what is going to take you to a Super Bowl. And Houston has, like I mentioned, one of, if not the best defense in all of football. And they are the 5 seed. Going on the road to face Pittsburgh, who barely squeaked into the playoffs, to me feels like a huge win for Houston, even though they did not end up winning the division. Taking out Pittsburgh in the first round, I feel like is going to be pretty easy work for the Houston Texans. And I mentioned it at the beginning of the show. Right now, they are 3-point favorites. I think they win this game by more than 3 points. Aaron Rodgers can still move in the pocket. He doesn't look like traditional guys that are over 40 years old. So I do think he's going to be able to get away from pressure at times, but he's not going to be able to do it all night long. By the time you get to the end of the third or the beginning of the fourth quarter, with this defense just suffocating you the entire night, it is going to be really hard for Aaron Rodgers to stay consistent throughout the evening. So even though he has tons of experience in the playoffs, I don't think that he has the weapons or the offensive scheme with Arthur Smith to be a defense like this. Also, one of the best way to take crowds out of a game is to do it with your defense. If another team is not scoring points, people are not going to be cheering. Defensive matchups typically don't have a ruckus crowd where everybody is screaming consistently. When you're scoring points and putting up a ton of points, the crowd keeps getting into it. They keep coming back. It's a ton to cheer about, and this Houston defense can take the crowd out pretty quick. Headliner Nation, hopefully you enjoyed all of the videos this week. I hope that everybody sticks around throughout the entire offseason to check out the content we are going to be doing, including our brand new live show, Headliners Unfiltered, on Mondays and Thursdays. Good luck to everybody this weekend, whether you're putting in pick'ems, playing best ball, dropping bets, it doesn't matter. Good luck to everybody, and good luck to all of your favorite teams as well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.
Analytics off the chain, other channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game.